Hey, welcome back to the Hatham Homestead. As many of you have a 5.7 Ram, the Hemi, your exhaust manifolds will crack or bolts will break. Well, I have the Hemi Tick, so I'm going to have to change out the manifolds. And I went with BD diesel. They're a direct replacement, but they're thicker. They come with spacers, so they're better than OEM. So follow along and we'll have a good time. So this is what the BD diesel kit comes with. The exhaust manifolds, which are thicker. All new bolts and spacers and adapters. If you're up in the Rust Belt, you probably need to order and new heat shields because they're probably gone. So you got bolts and all the spacers, and these are supposed to eliminate the cracking aspect of the manifold and cover for expansion and contraction of the bolts due to the dissimilar metals. As you probably know, the heads are aluminum and the manifolds are steel. They also have modified them to where the heat shields actually bolt into here rather than going in through the bolts. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to jack up the truck enough just to put that underneath it and pull off the tires. There you go, it's all jacked up. Pull off the tires. And then we'll take off the shrouds. 10 millimeters all the way around. Some of them push button things are some places. Here. Here. Alright, tires off. I won't bore you with that. Now we got to take off the wheel well surround here. I'm going to use my Dilly Walt. These should be a 10 millimeter. They are an 8 millimeter. So I'm going to use my other DeWalt quarter drive with an adapter. I don't have any 12 volt batteries. This is an adapter that goes from 20 and converts it to 12 volts. For the record, I have no idea what I'm doing. These body kits with these little things work good for pulling off the plastic clips that you need to take off. So that's what we're going for. This guy here. Heat shield. Held in with these 10 millimeters. Under these 10 millimeters that hold the heat shield are 13 millimeter bolts. There's 4 10 millimeters inside. There's the dipstick bracket here with a 10 millimeter as well. We'll also have to take and disconnect the steering shaft. They've also moved the attachment flange for the manifold from right in front of this O2 sensor. Now it's offset so you can actually get to it. That's nice. Pretty sure that's broken. Came off real easy and it's not, it's spinning real easy and it's not coming off. With my wire. I know working on my Hemi is not how I lost my thumb. Number 3 holds the dipstick here. Now the driver's side is much more harder than the passenger side. There's a bunch more stuff in the way. I guess I wouldn't say the word harder. It's more time consuming. Nice. So the heat shield's free. Get the dipstick out of the way here. I'm going to bend it a little bit. From what I understand, everything will be in the way. So I got the heat shield part way out of the way, but right there's my crack. It goes all the way around. So hopefully, I got 2 of them. I'll change the other side too, but so there's my crack that makes the tick sound. When I start up, and then when it heats up, it seals off. So far, I don't have any broken bolts. Let's keep on getting this heat shield off. I'm going to disconnect the steering wheel here. Looks like it's splined, it only goes in one way. Make sure you take your seat belt and put it through the steering wheel to keep it from spinning around on you. If you don't do that, you could have an issue to where it messes up the gearing inside the steering mechanism. There's a seat belt running through the steering wheel to keep it from spinning all over the place. All it does is just hold it so when you disconnect that shaft, it doesn't spin around, because this will spin around, but the electric shaft will not. Okay, I've marked the steering column here with a scratch. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's better. A few scratches. And then that's a 10mm bolt. And then it just slides right apart. You see its master spline there, so it can go 180 out. So that's out of the way for the most part. I'm sure it'll be in the way again. I'm going to take this off here. There's just like a wire harness on it, and then there's a bolt that goes into the bracket for the A-arm. See it? So even though these look like they thread on, they don't. They just push over the top. And then this is a, let's see here what size it is. It's a 13mm to take this standoff off, which holds this bracket for your, I guess, your transmission cable, or no, that's your hood cable. Hood release? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know why I would go that way. So it's not the hood release. I don't know what it is. It's to the left of the steering column. So we'll take the standoff off, don't lose the washer. And we'll pull it out of the way. That's good enough. Okay, I've gone around the dipstick, and maybe it'll slide it out. If I haven't told you, this is 2019 new body style, 5.7. So now we have access to all the bolts. I'm going to remove the exhaust flange bolts back here first. These guys. It's a 14. So I'm going to try and get on the back side, pull them out with an extension, etc. 14 millimeter. That flange is disconnected. There's no gasket in there, it just sits up in there, and the bevel's what seals it. So let's get going on these other ginormous bolts here, these guys. So these are 10, and this should be 13. Alright, so the camera shut off. So what I've done is I broke free all of the 10 millimeters. There's 3 on the bottom, 3 on top. I've taken the 13 millimeters out. There's 4. So you have the 10 millimeter nut on top that holds in the heat shroud and your dipstick, and then these other bolts. Now this front one, there's a bracket in the way down here on the bottom. So if you get too far out, you'll get stuck. So you need to switch to a smaller socket length. I'm trying to be right in your way. Is it working? I don't know what this bracket is for. I'll have to read the BW Diesel instructions to see if I'm supposed to leave it on or not. It's probably supposed to limit the flexing. That's my guess. Now we just have the top 3 to take out. I've already broke them all free. Now I have both the Milwaukee and the DeWalt quarter drive. This one is a lot more compact. It does pretty good. It's about to fall. So don't put your hands underneath it. Guarantee it won't feel good. And this will be the fun part. Some guys take apart this whole back piece and let it drop to the ground. I don't really want to do that. So now we have to finagle this monster out of here. And it will get stuck on absolutely everything in its path. That is the norm. Stuck on something good now. This is the old one. This is the lower bracket that was on here. I think there's an expansion bracket to try and keep it from doing that. And guess what, Dodge? It doesn't work. And this is the upper one. Now, they make these with slits in the front where you can put a front bolt in, the back bolt in to hold the heat shield, or excuse me, the gasket in place. And you just slide it in and drop it down. Probably works really good if it's on a bench, but it's not going to work here. So we'll mess with it here in a second. DD diesel tank 59. We're going to put the big old giant thing back in the hole here. See if I can show you how I got it out. See if I can get it back in. So I'm going to put the manifold in first, then I'll put the gasket in place. Hopefully. Now I do look inside, see the hardware in there, sometimes that can happen. Alright, so manifold in place. We got to take the nasty heavy diesel tank ones. They are size specific. Pretty sure I have the wrong one. So we're going to slide the gasket in there now. You want to make this more fun if it was hot. It's really hot. Alright, and then each bolt goes on the spacer. You just don't really want to use them. Let's see. It's got 3 here. Try a different hole. See, that's going to be a little fun. Step on the front ones here. Oh, that's not fair. It's too heavy. These are bigger. These are 13 millimeter. So we're not going to slope these down until we all get started. I'll go and figure out on 4. Start them all with your fingers. Don't start with a wrench. Just cross them and have them stuck. I'll use one in first. Back this a little bit. All right, so I'm putting the heat shield in. You will have to modify the heat shield. So the front one I had to bend out on the corner here. This was flat, so I had to bend this out. The upper aft one I had to bend this tab up, otherwise it won't go past the bolt. And the bottom one I had to bend this up right here, because this hits the flange of the BDD. You can cut it off if you want to, I just figured I'd bend it. And then I had to round this part right here out just a little bit because it was hitting the flange as well, or the manifold as well. So let's put this on now that I've figured out how to do it. All right, it's fairly simple to go in. Slide it up and aft of the bracket for the dipstick. Notice that this is up. Go forward. Bend the tab around the back side. Underneath that piece of the shield for the seal. And then it should fit, now that you've bent those pieces, of course, it should fit pretty snug in place. So let's go ahead and start the bolts. Now you have heat shield bolts, and then you also have a bolt for your dipstick, so don't worry about saving that front one for the dipstick. So I'm going to use this to hold the bolts in order to start them. If I had a whole thumb, it might be easier. Again, before you smoke any of them down, throw stuff on the floor, start them all. By far the hardest one to get in is going to be the bottom one. You got to lay on your back if you're in your house. If you got to lift, you're lucky, because I don't. I'm going to go underneath and put the bottom one in, because that for me is the hardest one. Again, don't use your electric ratchet to start these. You could cross-thread them or strip them out, and I guarantee you would be unhappy. The last one I gotta start is the bottom front one here. No, I didn't modify that one. I guess I should have. Hopefully it'll pull it up nice and tight. To be fair though, I couldn't even get the other one started. I think these are like 70 inch-pounds, 70. They're not very much. I don't think these are as critical as the head bolts, or the manifold bolts. So if you're feeling froggy, just snug them up, right? Last one. And that is your heat shield. Next we have to put on the exhaust flange bolts here. So the heat shield bolts are torqued to 90 inch-pounds. There's 4 of those. I like to double click. Really? And then you have the dipstick bolt up front. It is also a 10 millimeter, but they give you a new one here. So let's run that down with the electric ratchet, and then we'll torque it again, 90 inch-pounds. I believe the specs on paperwork says 89. So I'm saying 90, but it is 89. All right, now we got to hook up the phalange. Hope you can see that. I'll give you 2 bolts and 2 nuts. Make sure you tighten this up evenly. So one thing I did see a guy online talk about was when he puts these bolts in, from when they send them, they're always the wrong size. They're too long. I think BD Diesel has fixed that issue. With their kit. Don't forget to throw stuff on the floor. You have to. It's required. Especially if you're missing your thumb. Or your thumb. There we go. One thing I should have done was I should have checked the sizes before I stuck it on. I didn't. The nut is a 14 millimeter. The head is a very tight 14. Is a 9/16. Maybe that's the same. Yep. 14 and 9/16 interchangeable. So we're going to put, I don't know, it looks like a box end on this end here. And it looks like they did stick their phalange right in line with the exhaust, the O2 sensor. The ratchet wrench is going to be awesome right now. pretty good. It's nice and tight. Next thing we got to put in is this bracket that we took out in here. I don't know what it is. Remember, it goes over here and it has a silly standoff. That guy, remember? There's no wire. There. The wire's on the side. There we go. Okay. Remember, the wires here, just push over the top. You don't have to tighten anything up, just slides right on and holds it. So that's that. All right, now we gotta hook up the steering shaft. I think I should have gone on this side here like so. So there's our mark there and our mark here. Let's look up here. There's our mark here and our mark there. So this just pushes right on. Then we gotta find our bolt. This guy here. I believe it's a 10 millimeter. Yep. And that, I think, is 13 foot-pounds. All right, and then we got to go through one more time, make sure we got everything that we took off reconnected. We have dipstick, the manifold. This thing goes here, like that. There's two of them, one in each bolt on top of the strut housing here. Take this off, it's tight. This back on, flange, heat shield, dipstick. That's it. I'm not going to bore you with putting the shroud back together and everything, but that is putting in the BD diesel exhaust manifold. Again, if you put in the standard OEM, you're going to pay just as much, or not more. The BD diesel kit cost me about 600 bucks. Those are both sides and all the hardware. I'll lay out all the tools here in just a moment and show you what I used. Shroud's back on. Bolts all the way around. A couple bolts up top, front shroud. What's left is the tire. I think it's 130 foot-pounds for the lug nuts. All right, here's everything I used. Again, that's the BD diesel exhaust manifold kit. It's for 2019 Ram, new body style, 10 bolts. There's a thicker flange, spacers so it doesn't crack. You saw how the original one here cracked. You can see the crack there. Look down below for all the tools I used. I'll list them all. I did buy this kit. This is a torque wrench kit. A couple flashlights, ratchets, sockets. Most guys have this in the garage already. So any questions, comment down below. I did purchase also this Topic high strength bolt remover in case I had a broken stud I had to take off. I also have a welder and some nuts in case I have a stud break off flush, I can get it out. So check out these guys online. BD Diesel. And there you have it. That's for the 2019 Ram 5.7 Hemi driver's side manifold. Thanks for watching. Have some out.